Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football Friendly Focus, Week 16. I'm your host who boasts who knows the most, but if my picks don't help you win, you can definitely roast, but if you do win, I appreciate a toast. One of these days, I'm going to get a wine glass. So how did you guys do last week? If for some of you, you guys won in the first round, congratulations. And if you guys had a bye, this will probably be your first week, so good luck to everyone. So what did we learn last week? The Vikings did it again. They came back down from 33 down to come back and beat the Colts in overtime. So it was the biggest comeback in NFL history. Patriots lost on a boneheaded lateral play that got intercepted and ran back for a touchdown. So I don't know. He just didn't down it. It's not like they were down. They were going to have to play for overtime. And the Cowboys lost on an interception, pick six. Dak got hit, I think, when he threw it, and lost to the Jaguars in overtime. So Jaguars are a really scrappy team, so I wouldn't take them for granted at all if you were playing them. Speaking of the Jaguars, they are at the Jets on Thursday Night Football. Trevor Lawrence looks like the real deal Holyfield. I say start him with confidence. Zay Jones got 3 touchdowns last week. Start Christian Kirk. Tinier, Evan Ingram. Jaguars defense probably looks pretty enticing to start this week, but they haven't really shown any consistency. Looks like the offense has been keeping them in game, so I wouldn't start them. As for the Jets, Zach Wilson is starting again for injured Mike White. He did enough. I mean, not did enough, but he did okay. If he made it this far, I wouldn't suggest starting him. Same with Wilson. And the other wide receivers, probably don't start those guys. Zonovan Knight, I think he's injured. So let's just put it this way. If you have any Jets players, probably shouldn't start them because it's kind of a big question mark. Depends on the play of Wilson, and that's just too risky to play for second round of playoffs. And the Jets defense kind of looks like they're falling apart. So, I mean, they were sitting pretty well last couple weeks, but then I think they lost 3 in a row. So, I wouldn't recommend starting any players in the Jets and not the defense for sure. So it looks like there are going to be 5 games on Saturday, so Christmas Eve. So the first game is going to be the Falcons at the Ravens. So Mariota is out for the year with a knee injury. Desmond Ridder is in. It is too risky to start a backup guy right now in the playoffs. I wouldn't recommend starting him. Drake London probably won't start him either. Algier actually did pretty well. He's probably worth a flex this week for sure. Kyle Pitts is out, so I don't know who the tight end is, so that seems to be the theme of this podcast. So, and the Falcons defense, probably not. Looks like Huntley got the green light to go. He's a good game manager, but I don't think he wants enough for a start. He'll probably do enough. The defense and the offense will do well. I think Watkins got picked up on waivers after he got released by the Packers. But I think he's not going to play. Of course, I can't even tell you. Is it Dumervay and Robinson? Probably not. I think J.K. Dobbins is worth a start. He's actually running pretty well. And the Ravens' defense is actually worth a stream this week for sure. They're at home. They play pretty well. And they're probably going to get to the backup quarterback for sure. Don't look now, but the Lions are 7-7 and playing really, really well. And the Panthers this week. So I would say start Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Start him for sure. The backup tight end, I don't know who the tight end is for Lions either. If you have Jamal Williams and Swift, start those guys for sure. Lions defense still pretty bad. Wouldn't say start them. So Panthers, it's Darnold. He did okay. I wouldn't start him. DJ Moore, probably not. Foreman, let's just say too risky starting you guys on the Panthers this week. So, and the defense, nope, wouldn't start them either. So the Bills at the Bears is the next game. So Josh Allen definitely start for sure. I think they're going to try to keep the number 1 seed in the AFC. Stephon Diggs, no brainer. Singletary, yeah, I think he's worth a flex this week. He seems to be the best runner on that team. Dawson Knox actually is playing a lot better now. He's actually catching a lot of balls and touchdowns. So, and the Bills defense probably consider a stream, even though they're playing at Chicago. They have really nothing to play for, but Fields is back. But I wouldn't suggest starting Fields. Same with the receivers like Claypool, nah. Komet kind of dropped off for a while, so the only guy I probably would recommend is Montgomery. Running backs are a pretty safe bet when it comes to starting a player off a team that's kind of bad. I mean, not bad, but really bad. And then the Bears defense, I wouldn't suggest starting them. We have the Saints at the Browns the next game. So the Saints, I wouldn't start Dalton in this game. Olave is probably the only guy I would recommend starting for the Saints. Wide receivers, Kamara, if you have him, start him for sure. And the Saints defense, I wouldn't recommend. So Deshaun Watson has been playing gradually better each game. And this might be a good game for him to break out, but it's too risky. Even though it is a favorable matchup, I wouldn't suggest playing him at all. But I would say start Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper. If you have Chubb, yeah, definitely start him for sure. And I think the Browns defense is actually going to play really, really well. So if you have a chance to get him, definitely start him for sure. Seahawks at the Chiefs next game. So let's see. I would lean more toward not starting Geno Smith this week. It looked like Tyler Lockett might be out with a broken finger. He might be back sooner than later, but it's too much of a risk, I would say. DK Metcalf for sure because he's healthy. Noah Fant scored a touchdown last week, so I think that Smith would look more toward him this week too, so he'll get looks. I suggest starting him. And Kenneth Walker III is back, so I would start him for sure. Seahawks defense, no. Mahomes is a no-brainer. Kelsey's a no-brainer. When it comes to the receivers for the Chiefs, it's just too inconsistent to see which one that gets the most catches. So I wouldn't recommend starting those guys, and I wouldn't start the Chiefs defense. So let's get down to the. Oh, actually, there are 6 more games on Saturday, so Christmas Eve is going to have a lot of games. So next is going to be the the Giants at the Vikings. So the Giants actually pulled one out and beat Washington last week. So, but I don't see that happening this week. So Daniel Jones, I think he's going to do okay, but not too much. Only guy I would recommend starting is Saquon Barkley. I think he'll have a pretty decent game against that Vikings defense, which is pretty terrible. And I know Kirk Cousins is turnover prone, but I wouldn't recommend starting the Giants defense. This game could be a mid to high scoring game. When it comes to Kirk Cousins, he does turn the ball over, but he does get a lot of points. He got over like 40-some points last week. So I say start him with confidence. Justin Jefferson for sure. Thielen, if you have him. I think even KJ Osborne came out of nowhere. Did pretty well. Dalvin Cook, Hawkinson as well. Vikings defense probably does look like a good stream this week, but I wouldn't recommend them. They gave up a bunch of points to the Colts, and it's pretty much the offense that bails them out, so I wouldn't recommend starting the Vikings defense at all. So the Red Hot Bengals are at the Patriots next. Yep, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. If Hayden Hurst is playing, I'd say start him. Bengals defense. No, I wouldn't say start him. Mac Jones is a good game manager. They could be playing from behind, but it's too risky to start him. It's Aguilar, Parker, and Myers who threw that boneheaded lateral last week. I wouldn't say recommend starting them. I think Ramondre Stevenson is the only guy I would recommend on the Patriots if you have him start for sure. Other than that, I wouldn't say start anybody else. Even with the tight ends, Henry and Smith, no, not those guys. And Patriots defense play pretty good at home, but I think the Bengals are gonna score a lot for them, and they're still vying for a wild card. I think they're gonna try to win the North. Yes, they're trying to win the North, so they're gonna be playing pretty hard. The Commanders at the 49ers is gonna be the next game. Let's see. Heineke, definitely not this week. Might be some garbage time touchdowns from McLaurin. Probably the only guy I would recommend. Brian Robinson, maybe, but they're playing against the #1 defense in the league. So I say start with caution, or if not, if you have anyone better, I'd say start them over any Washington guys. When it comes to 49ers, looks like Brock Purdy is playing pretty well. He's definitely considered a stream this week against a Washington defense is actually pretty bad. Ayuk is, I think, the #1 receiver right now, so because Samuel is still hurt. So I would say start him with confidence. Kittle is actually getting back in the game as well. McCaffrey, start him for sure. And 49ers defense is a no-brainer. You probably have to start them every single week. So the next game is going to be the Eagles at the Cowboys. So looks like Jalen Hurts hurt his shoulder running in for a touchdown last week. So looks like Gardner Minshew is going to be playing. Well, so it's like a lot of backup quarterbacks are playing, and it's too risky. I mean, he is a good backup, but I think the Cowboys want it more because then they're still trying to get better seeding in the wild card. So I wouldn't recommend starting him, but I would start AJ Brown and I would start Devontae Smith. If Goddard's back, start him. Miles Sanders. Usually I would say start Eagles defense, but for this week I think the Cowboys are going to play them tough, so I wouldn't recommend starting them. So for it comes to the Cowboys, I'd say start Dak, start Lamb. Start the tight end. What's his name? I have Schultz. Start Schultz for sure. If you have Pollard and Zeke, they're definitely probably going to get at least, one of them's going to get a lot of yards and one of them's trying to get a touchdown for sure. And Cowboys defense, probably definitely worth a stream this week for sure. They play tough at home, so, and they're probably going to get that sour taste out of their mouth after losing to the Jaguars. So they're probably going to be pretty pissed off. So yeah, I say start the Cowboys defense. The Raiders at the Steelers, so they won like a miracle game last week. Steelers are actually playing a lot better as of late, and their defense is actually pretty good at home. I would stay away from Carr. I would start Devontae Adams for sure. Darren Waller, like he's back. Josh Jacobs is a no-brainer. I would start the other position guys by Derek Carr. And the Raiders defense, nope. I think Pickett is back. Not sure after he got hurt, but only guy I would recommend starting is Freiermuth and Najee Harris. So look for those guys to produce pretty big. And then Steelers defense, you know what? I wouldn't recommend starting them this week. It looks like maybe a mid-scoring game, mid to low-scoring game. So might be kind of tough. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend starting them. So, so we're going to the Sunday game, which is only going to be 3 games this week. So it's going to be the Packers at the Dolphins. So the Packers pretty much have to win out. They cannot lose anymore. But I don't know. They beat a pretty bad Rams team. So, man, it's kind of hard. You would usually say start Aaron Rodgers every week. But this week against Dolphins defense, probably not, because the Dolphins are still trying to get into the playoffs. So Watson and Dobbs, it looks like they kind of just fell off. No. Only guys I would recommend starting, Aaron Jones and Dylan if he's okay. Tanyan, probably not. And Packers defense, no. So I'd say start Tua, start Waddle, start Hill. Mostert looks like he's taken over the lead back position, so start him for sure. And Dolphins is pretty interesting stream this week against the Packers, so would recommend streaming them for sure. I think they're going to get to Green Bay for sure. So so that we have the Broncos. Ooh, snooze fest right here. Broncos at the Rams. Oh man, so I think it's Riparian's job. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wilson is back after this, but I don't suggest starting him at all. Neither in the wide receiver. I think Latavius Murray is the only one because he had actually a breakout game last week, so start him for sure. Broncos defense, even though they're on the road, probably not. Man, I don't even know who's starting for their. Oh, Baker Mayfield, I guess still, right? They only managed like 3 or 4 field goals last week. Whew. So nope on Mayfield. Only guy I would probably consider is maybe Cam Akers, but you probably do have somebody better. So probably just save you guys some time and say don't start anybody on the Rams. And Rams defense, nope. So we have the Buccaneers at the Cardinals. So Buccaneers looks like they're still trying to win the division in that really bad NFC South. So look for Tom Brady to take it out on the Cardinals. I say Tom Brady is definitely worth a start for sure this week. Looks like Godwin is the number one receiver more than Mike Evans. So I would say start both of them for sure. If you have Fournette and White, it's probably they'll probably be up by a lot. So they're probably definitely worth a start for sure to get some garbage time yards and maybe even touchdowns. I'm not sure how Otten did last week or Brait. So I would lean more toward Otten than Brait. So, and Buccaneers defense is actually worth a start this week too. So it's a stream for sure. I think Colt McCoy got hurt, so it's down third string quarterback. So I think that whoever it is, I wouldn't recommend Hopkins and Hollywood Brown. It's too risky to start them. We don't know how the quarterback's going to do. Don't know the tight end replacing Zach Ertz right now. I'd probably recommend Connor only. He's probably the only consistent guy. And Cardinals defense, absolutely not. So the Monday night game is going to be the Chargers at the Colts. So the Chargers won last week, second field goal. So Herbert's playing pretty well. I say start all the guys with confidence. Herbert, Allen, Williams, Everett, Eckler for sure. When it comes to the defense, no. So it looks like the Colts are going to Nick Foles now. They're going to drop Matt Ryan. Nick Foles, I think he was only good when he was with the Eagles. It was pretty bad with the Bears, pretty bad with the Jaguars. So, yeah, like I said, with the backup quarterbacks, it's way too risky to start him right now. Looks like Jonathan Taylor's out for the year. Michael Pittman, no. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend starting any guys on the Colts right now. And Colts defense, absolutely not. So let's go to the kickers. Just give me a second here. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. So, Harrison Butker, no brainer. You gotta start him every week. Chiefs are gonna score a lot of points every week. Same with Justin Tucker against the Falcons. If Huntley can't get him in the end zone, you can always count on Tucker to kick a bunch of field goals. Carson and the Steelers, yeah, if Carr and the offense have a difficult time scoring against that Pittsburgh defense, you can always count on Carlson to get you some points. Tyler Bassett, the Bears. I think that the Bengals are scoring a ton of points every week, so Carlson is definitely worth a start for sure. So, oh, I'm sorry, Carson, Steelers. Okay, now I meant Bassett, the Bears. So, Bass, yeah, look like the Bears are probably going to give up a lot of points to the Bills, so start them with Bass with confidence. Brett Maher versus the Eagles. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be pissed. They're going to look to score a lot and get back into the win column for sure. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, looks like he's did pretty well taking over the starting kicking job against the Colts. So look for him to get some points for you. Nick Folk against the Bengals. So if the Patriots don't score, mid to low amount of points, but Folk is pretty reliable. So yeah, definitely start him with confidence. Graham Gano against the Vikings. Yeah, same with the Giants. They don't score that many points, so look for Gano to get many opportunities. Greg Joseph against the Giants. I think that the Vikings are going to be on tear and going to score a lot of points in this game as well. So start Greg Joseph with confidence. And Robbie Gould against the Commanders. The defense is going to get a lot of turnovers. Probably going to give a lot of chance for Gould to get a lot of field goals for sure. So those are my picks for this week. If you guys made it to the second round, good luck this week. Hopefully you guys win it and make it to the championship round. I'll be watching, rooting for other people, but, there's always next year. So if you guys like what you guys see, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for nerding out to our nonsense. Fantasy into a football, all that good stuff, guys. good luck. Like I said before, we'll see you guys next week for the championship round for most of you guys. If not, it'll be the week after, all right? So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.